This is Bruce Boudreau, and it's time for Clay's Canucks commentary live. Let's go with Clay right now.
Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary live, presented to you by Van City Experts Real Estate. I am Canuck Clay Emo. I am your host, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It is Thursday night, August the 24th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Moderators, I'm giving you permission to do what you need to do to make this a safe and positive space. Members, that's legends, Hall of Fame and franchise members, thanks for your support as always. And thanks to everyone here for tuning in. I always appreciate you. I never take you for granted. So no matter where you are, whether in my beautiful neighborhood of Steveston and Richmond, in the city, in the Lower Mainland, in the province, in the country, in the continent, or around the world, thank you, on the continent or around the world. Thank you for being here. You know that I know that you could be doing anything else, watching anyone else, getting ready for work, school, or bed, or all three. But the fact that you are here with me, know how much I always appreciate you, and I never take you for granted. So this is what I always invite you to do. Subscribe so you can get my videos every day, and so you can get active in the chat section. Like the video. There's 30 of you in here, which is awesome, but only 7 likes. You guys know my 50% rule. So let's get let's get that up to about 15 likes or so to get us going. Like the fact that we're together, we're talking, we're nearing the end of August, and we're finally starting to see Canucks hockey around the corner. Carol, amazing. I'm going to recognize your membership your gift in a second. You can leave a donation and get that donation train out of the station. Although I think it just left the station with Carol's generous donation. You can gift a membership like Carol just did. It serves as a $5 donation per membership, and it gets someone free membership for an entire month, franchise membership. So Carol, I'll recognize that in a second. Thank you. You can also become a member yourself. You can upgrade your membership, and you can definitely, if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. So today I'm going to talk about Elias Pettersson's comments. I'm going to touch on Austin Matthews' new contract, because they're not exactly related, but at least they're talking about the same thing. And then I will do my mid-show sponsor read, and then I'll turn it over to you for your thoughts. So make sure you vote in the poll question. Basically, I'm asking you, how concerned are you? How worried are you with PD's comments, which I'll get to in a second? Not at all. A little bit worried, somewhat worried, or very worried. And I'll give you some fodder to think about in a second. But first, I want to recognize a couple of the wonderful activity that's been going on in the chat as I've been doing my intro. First and foremost, I can't highlight a membership gift because it doesn't show up on my screen, but I did see that the legend herself, Carol Bovenlander, coming through. Let's give Carol some much deserved love for this 5 membership gifts, which is the same as a $25 donation. So shout out to Carol for the donation, for the gift of membership, and welcome to franchise membership, Dominic, Tyler, Indigo, Philly, and Matter. I think there's at least a couple of new names in there. So welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary. Welcome to the CCC community. And I think Tyler, Dominic, and Indigo might be repeat members, which is just fine as well. So Carol, thank you so much for that donation, and welcome to all 5 of you. I appreciate Carol, and I appreciate all of you joining me. And yes, people thanking Carol in the chat, as they should. We also have another legend coming through. Legendary Lucas Gates can confirm, I've seen the new scoreboard and it's big. PD is doing his due diligence. Can't deny that. Like, sub, become a member, and more. Bring on the season. Yes, we are starting to see. Thank you, Lucas. Let's give Lucas some much deserved love, and I appreciate you, Lucas, your loyalty and your donation as well. We're starting to see not only mock-ups from the Canucks in their social media posts today, but people that have been attending concerts, Sam Smith yesterday and others, getting sneak peeks at the new Jumbotron, the new video board that is going up. That's another thing I vlogged about today. New video board, new ring beam going around the outside of the inside of the arena, but the perimeter, you know what I mean? The strip between the upper bowl and the lower bowl. And then of course that 60-seat VIP experience that we've been talking about as well. Great to see many of you here. And yes, once again, Carol, thank you for the memberships, the gifting of the memberships. And Lucas, thank you for the donation as well. And I love this. Ricky says, Drake let us down by not releasing his album tonight. I wouldn't know. I don't like Drake. Hopefully we're still friends. But you know who never lets us down? Clay. That's right. I'm here for you. I'm always happy to be here with all of you. In fact, we had Gail and I had some friends over. We are mentoring them, John and Alyssa. We were mentoring them as they prepare to get married in January, and they left at 10 after 10. Perfect timing. I didn't boot them out. I said, this is good timing because I have my show at 10:30. And they said, wow, Clay, you're so dedicated. How do you have the energy to do shows so late at night, especially when nothing's going on with the Canucks? And I told them very, very honestly, it's because of you. You guys give me energy. You guys give me joy. And I'm thrilled to be with you guys here 2 or 3 times a week for sure. By the way, did anyone notice my new background? I'm surprised no one said anything yet. Not that you have to, but did anyone notice the new background that I have? So I have, I brought down one of Jacob's lights just to try. So it's just not the boring white background, as long as it doesn't affect the front side, which is the natural lighting, or not natural lighting, normal lighting. I don't want a big blue beam on my face, but of course that thing behind me, it can go blue, red, green, yellow, orange, all the colors. It can flicker, it can flash, but I don't want to, set anyone or anything off. So we went with a standard light blue tonight. Okay, more importantly, let's talk about Elias Pettersson. Now, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, technically Wednesday morning, Elliotte Friedman at 12:04 in the morning. I know because I was in my prayer hour, but I was 5 minutes late to my prayer hour. So I saw it just as I was walking in. He released an excerpt from his latest 32 Thoughts podcast with Elias Pettersson. And I admit, I have not listened to the whole podcast episode. I've only seen the 80-second clip that was on Twitter. But aside from talking about PD's love for big cities, it was talking about, well, thanks everyone for the nice compliments on the color for sure. PD talked about this. PD talked about the fact that he's not in a rush to sign a contract extension. And if you saw my video, if you heard me talk about this over the past couple of days, flat out, I'm 100% okay. Would I say on board? No, I'm okay what Pettersson said, and I'll explain why. But basically, we know that PD had a 3-year entry-level contract, 3 years. His second contract was also 3 years. 3 plus 3 makes 6. And we know that you don't become a unrestricted free agent, a UFA, until the end of your 7th year. So 3 years ELC, 3 years in a second contract, that's 6 years only. So that means his next contract will basically, if it's only 1 year, walk him straight to unrestricted free agency, and then he can sign with any other team. So the worst, absolute worst outcome is if PD says, I do not want to sign long-term, and give me a 1-year contract, and then basically I'm out of here. That's what Matthew Tkachuk did to Calgary, and Calgary did not wait for that last season. They traded him right away, and I actually liked, despite how this year worked out for Calgary, I actually liked the return they got in Mackenzie Weegar and Jonathan Huberdeau. It's just that Matthew Tkachuk had such an awesome season with Florida, leading them to the Stanley Cup Finals. So remember, Elias Pettersson is in year 3 of his second contract, or think about it as year 6. So he's under contract for this season. So don't freak out. You can't worry. Don't worry that he's not playing this year. He is. He's under contract for this season. What he's not under contract for is next season. And he can sign a new contract that kicks in July 1st, 2024. He could have started to sign that. He could have signed that anytime from July 1st of last month. So yes, It's been 7 weeks since he hasn't signed, and I think we should get ready for another 7 months because PD basically said that he's in no rush to sign right now. Now, I think some people got scared because in that interview, he also said, I don't even know if I'm going to sign short-term or long-term. Now, obviously, as Canucks fans, if you like Pettersson, you don't like hearing that. You want him to sign long-term. When you re-sign your own free agent, you can offer up to 8 years. Other teams can offer a UFA 7 years. So that's the built-in advantage, the home court advantage, so to speak. Home ice advantage, probably a better analogy. That's the advantage of having a home team, the current team, sign your own UFAs, is that you can offer them 8 years where other teams can only offer him 7. But remember, no one can offer him anything right now because he's still under contract for this upcoming season. So obviously we want it to be done sooner than later, but I don't think that's going to happen. And I'll explain why in a couple of seconds. But before that, I want to recognize another donation from legendary Lucas Gates. The legend says, Elliotte Friedman woke up Twitter X and chose violence. Twitter X reaction as per usual. Remember, RFAs could mean we could bring him back. This isn't a UFA, fortunately. Exactly. Kind of what I've been saying. Thank you, Lucas, for reiterating it. We have all the rights in negotiating for Elias Pettersson. And speaking of legends, the legend himself, Hot Take Hockey. I believe he's still in Toronto. He was breaking Austin Matthews contract news, which I'll talk about in a second. But really quickly, Hot Take, while you're here, I love it when you're here. I love it when everyone's here. But Hot Take, give me your quick hot take. $13.25 million. Austin Matthews, 4 more years. Tell me about it in the chat. John, give me your scoop. Right, I watched your video, but I don't want to spoil it. Let's hear it from you in 200 characters or less. I think that's all you can type, at least every 20 seconds. John, give us your quick hot take on the Matthews contract. Austin Matthews kind of interesting. We've been talking about contract lengths. He did his 3-year ELC, and then he did a 5-year contract straight out of his ELC, kind of like what I think Quinn Hughes did 6, but Matthews did 5. But the tricky thing is 3 plus 5 is only 8 years. So that second contract that Matthews signed for $11.4 million a year, technically at the end of this season, he's going to become a UFA, an unrestricted free agent. So there was a chance that the Toronto Maple Leafs actually would lose Austin Matthews at the end of the season. So just think all this angst about us losing Petey, dare I say, because at least Petey was still going to be an RFA, it was amplified in the Toronto market because right now Matthews is a better player than Pettersson, and because Matthews was a UFA at the end of his current contract and not an RFA. So you put all that angst, all that turmoil, all that anticipation, that nervousness together, and no wonder people were wondering, well, what's going to happen with Austin Matthews? Well, we got our answer, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, when Austin Matthews signed 4 years, $53 million. So that's $13.25 million. Is it 13.25? Yeah, $13.25 million a season for 4 seasons starting next year. And basically, it makes him the highest paid player in the NHL, exceeding Nathan McKinnon, exceeding Connor McDavid. And let's go. He's an expert, so let's get his thoughts right away. Hot Take says, I predicted 12.5 for 3. 12.5 for 3. So I look at this as Matthews had a lot of leverage. I'll take this outcome all day, every day, versus what Tkachuk did to the Flames, for example. So great hot take. That's why he's so smart. That's why he's got a big channel. He was close on he did 12.5 for 3, but Matthews gets a bit more because he signs for an extra year. So 12.5 is what Hot Take predicted. 13.25 for 4 is what Matthews got. So John was certainly in the ballpark. But more importantly, yeah, he said this. Matthews obviously had a lot of leverage because he got another year at almost $750,000 more per season than John's prediction. But I love what John said. And it's exactly, see, John's smart and I pretend I'm smart. It's exactly what I just said about 5 minutes ago about Pettersson, Tkachuk. and how that could be a similar outcome, which we don't want to happen. Again, Tkachuk basically said he wanted out and he got traded right away. He says, I'll take this outcome all day, every day, versus what Tkachuk did to the Flames, for example. And that was basically saying, I'm going to play out my contract and then I'm going to leave. Instead, Matthews has got one more year this season on his former contract that paid him 11.4, and then he's got 4 years. So technically, he had to play this season, although he could have basically said, trade me now because I'm not re-signing with you. And that's kind of what John's alluding to. So Auston Matthews, this season plus 4, so at least 5 more years for Matthews. And then Hot Take also follows up by saying, worth it. Cap will go up significantly. McDavid will make $60 million per year in 3 seasons. Great point. Great point. And that's kind of what I'm getting at. What I was going to get that with Pettersson. You can't blame Petey for not wanting to sign yet for many, many reasons. Number one, the salary cap is going to go up. Maybe we know a bit more about it 6-8 months from now. And we know that the Canucks will have room to sign him. So that's not an issue. The salary cap's not a big issue for Petey or for any of these stars, actually, because we know it's going up. We just don't know by how much. Number two, what happens if the team stinks? What happens if Petey does not want to sign here long term? That's why he said short term versus long term, not sure. Imagine if the Canucks struggle again. Imagine if they, God forbid, they fire another coach, their third in 3 seasons. Imagine Petey simply says, well, I've given you 6 or 7 years already. I want to go where I have an actual decent chance at winning. You guys, that sucks, but that's a possibility. And I think the biggest thing is Pettersson is counting on himself even having a better season than 102 points. So why would he sign now at an X number? Let's say $11 million a season, for example. Where imagine if he puts up 105, 110 points. Now that number is $11.5 or $12 million for this player. So Petey is banking on himself. There's some risk, obviously, if he gets hurt or if he has a down season, then maybe you're taking some money off the table. But this situation is a little bit different than JT Miller. JT Miller still had a year left on his contract, but he signed on Labor Day last year because he was coming off of his best season ever, his 99-point season. That's why he signed his 7-year, $8 million a year, $56 million total contract last year, even though he still had a year left on his contract. Petey, same situation, a year left on his contract, but he's banking on having an even better year this season. So for all of those reasons, I have no problem with Petey saying what he said. I have no problem with him not signing yet. I'll have a problem if he doesn't sign long term, but we can worry about that when we get to it. I think he does want to see how the season starts, and he's trying his best not for it to be a distraction. And I think it's going to be, unless they flat out say, no, I'm not taking any questions about contract negotiations until after Christmas or whatever it may be. By the way, Adam, I saw your message. Sorry I didn't get to it. I had to get through all that, but I've seen your messages. Adam, take care of yourself. I'm glad you are here. Oh, it's not about you. It's about someone else. Regardless, thank you for sharing, and thank you for spending some of your evening with us. And I'll add this from Hot Take, and then I'll do my Mitchell sponsor read, and then I'll get all of your comments in a second. Hot Take says, I think PD stays, to be honest, but could be wrong. My PD contract prediction, if he stays, will be 11 times 5 or 6. And yeah, Hot Take, I'm with you. Did a video about having the same numbers, basically 11.25, given his production. I will take 5 or 6 years from PD from 11.25. Friends, let me do my mid-show sponsor read, and then I will get to your comments about Pettersson. So, first and foremost, shout out to my primary sponsor, Van City Experts Real Estate. Contact Jason Lim and his team for all of your real estate needs. Shout out to my secondary sponsor, Perform and Transform Personal Training and Weight Loss. Check them out at ptform.com. Thank you to Gassy Jack Art, maker of this fine artwork. Thank you to Monkey Nine Brewing, my eternal sponsor. And thank you to Vessi Footwear. Use the URL tinyurl.com/VessiClay and receive a free pair of socks with your next Vessi purchase. Also, a mid-show reminder to you to subscribe, to like the video, to leave a donation like Lucas did, to gift memberships like Carol did, or you can become a member or upgrade your own membership. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. Happy early birthday, Edmund. We'll have a Canucks After Dark show that night, so make sure you join us then. And for everyone else, now is the time for you to give me your reactions to Elias Pettersson, his comments to Elliotte Friedman. I will end the poll right now, and I will share the results. The poll, you guys said, 42% of you, not worried at all. 22%, a tad worried, 18%, somewhat worried, and 16% really worried. So 64% of you, 2/3 of you are saying not worried at all or only a tad worried. Peter says, I would be a little bit concerned from the perspective of the Canucks' lack of success. PD unfortunately only made the playoffs once, and we can't ignore that as a potential reason for him leaving. Absolutely. He wants to win. I think fans overanalyze things. You're not talking about me, Lucas. I'm just kidding. Anyone would do such if it's a star player in contract negotiations, the cycle being a fan in the social media world. Yes, the beauty, the blessing and the curse of a social media world is everyone has a voice, which is great. It's just a matter of picking your way, ciphering your way through, deciphering, not ciphering, siphon or deciphering, not deciphering. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Picking your way through the opinions and choosing which ones you want to follow and believe in. I'm mildly nervous. I love how Fangirl always starts with honestly, because I'd be concerned if she said, not really honestly, or I'm lying, but. So Fangirl always comes in with the honestly. Honestly, I'm mildly nervous about the PD situation after the Horvat situation played out. Yeah, kind of different. I hear you, Fangirl, but a different situation in that Horvat was going to be a UFA, not an RFA. So we still have all the leverage in this situation. David, PD has so far put up impressive point totals in the regular season, 5 straight seasons, almost a point per game. Yes. In his only postseason, he scored 7 goals among 18 points. Yeah, so he's I think 0.93 points per game in the regular season, and he's over a point per game in the playoffs. Erwin, do you think a captain assignment depends on EP40's contract status, or do you think they will run only A's this season? Great question, Erwin. They were talking about this on Sekeres and Price, because Matt Sekeres thinks because of these comments, they will not give PD the C. Blake Price says, what does it matter? You traded your C away last season in Horvat. Do I think it depends on the contract status? I do think there's a small part that is less likely to give him the C because he's not here long term. Ricky, I'm very confident, not afraid at all. Elliotte Friedman was an NHL Network with Bruce Boudreau yesterday and said Pettersson loved the way the team finished under Tocchet. His priority is to stay. Ricky, you should have your own show and share that. That's awesome. I did not know that. K-Dude, PD is part of the reason they aren't winning. Pure and simple. Ooh, them's fighting words. K-Dude, explain yourself. I'll give you the floor to explain yourself. I don't agree. I think it's the only reason why they're close to winning, but I would love to hear you out. Peter, I totally respect PD's mentality. The man wants to win, and his next contract will be the biggest of his career. Why not try and earn more by having a much better season? Makes sense to me, Peter. Flames had the Kachuk situation. Jets had the Dubois situation. Hopefully Canucks aren't next. Hot take, agreed. Hopefully the Canucks are not next. Lucas, pick your poison situation. Well said. The problem is it personal opinion or is it general fact? It's an odd, balanced way to approach. Yes, talking about social media, Twitter, influencers, everything. Fangirl, this reminds me of the Shohei Ohtani situation in the MLB Angels organization. He's injured and no new contract, yet hitting the open market this fall. Yes and no. Again, I hear what you're saying, Fangirl, but remember, PD is not hitting the open market. We have him for one more year, but for all intents and purposes, I hear what you're saying, Fangirl, for sure. Peter, obviously, if PD wants to have success here, it'll depend on Demko's health. Can Miller be a capable second-line C? Brock, if he remembers that he can shoot the puck hard. Yes, and penalty killing and defense and many other things. Michael, between McDavid and PD, which player will play for another team first, or will both end their careers only playing on one team? If I had to pick one, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I say PD. I don't see McDavid leaving Edmonton. I just don't. I don't see that happening. So if I had to pick one, I'd say PD. Lucas Sekeres' stance with his sources are very suspect. No wonder his company lost his media credentials. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. Jaskrin, do you think it's realistically make or break season? Absolutely. I really do. That's why their slogan should be playoffs or bust, because that's why they brought in all the players that they did on short-term contracts. Almost everyone on a year, Suter on 2 year, Susi on 3, but everyone else is on 1 year contracts, at least the new guys. And I think they know that the balance of the franchise, I'm not overstating this, you guys, are being over dramatic. I think the balance of the franchise hinges on how well they do this season. I really do. All right, K-Dude, I think PD isn't a team player. He comes across as a loner, a little arrogant, and kind of soft. Don't agree with the soft, but you can certainly have your opinion. I do think he keeps a close group of friends. And yeah, what you call it, arrogance or cockiness, confidence, I definitely see a bit of that in him for sure. But I don't think he's soft. Angels fans are freaking like Canucks fans. Okay, that's fair. Fillmore, do you think PD's prime has been wasted 3 years due to COVID and bad decisions by management affecting him and the team? He's a winner. Yeah, if you argue that his prime was 2 or 3 years ago, then yes. If you argue that his prime was now, like last year and this year, then I wouldn't say we've wasted it yet, but we're becoming dangerously close to wasting it. Yeah, K-Dude's allowed to have his opinion for sure. But it doesn't mean we feel good about it. That's fair. Yeah, Shannon's pointing out how PD has improved. Michael B. Okay, I answered this one already. Yeah, K-Dude is allowed to express his opinion, his or her opinion, and we can agree or disagree. If EP makes 11 plus, who do they trade? High T, I don't think we have to worry about that yet because that 11 plus will come with an inflated salary, a salary cap. And then you also have guys coming off the books next season. For instance, coming off the books next season, Anthony Beauvillier, Teddy Bluger. I know not a lot of heavy hitters. Tyler Myers, if we still have him. Ian Cole. So there is going to be Tanner Pearson. So there is going to be money coming off the books. So it's too early to speculate who they have to trade because of that. Young Stars is indeed coming up for sure. Adam saying, close the door, Jake. When Adam first said that, I thought that he was talking about Jake here. And then, but I think he's talking about, like my son, Jake, but I think he's talking about Jake Virtanen not closing the bench door and Bester getting hurt. Ricky, is this the most important regular season in Canucks history with what's at stake? Reminds me of Game 7 versus Chicago. If we lose, everyone is traded. Yeah, I think that's a fair analogy. I think this management now has had a year and a half to put their spin on things. They've gotten out of all the bad contracts except for Myers. So I do think that this is, if not the most important, one of the most important for sure. Technically, if PD leaves, we technically still have Elias Pettersson except the defenseman. That's true. He's going to be in our system for a while. PD for Mika and Laugh. Well, Laugh does have his new contract. That's true. I'm not sure I do that. Mika's getting up there. PD for Matthews. I don't think Hot Take does that. Gary says PD's comments did indeed scare me. And you guys, if I may, I don't know who K-Dude is, but I appreciate anyone who's able to express an opinion. And it might not be a popular opinion or one that we even agree with. But if you can express it respectfully, then that's awesome. That's what we need more of it, actually, quite in the chat. It's when people, no one's done it tonight, but it's when people disagree with some people and then they start to insult the intelligence of anyone who disagrees with them. That's what I have an issue with. And that's what the moderators should be looking out for. But a simple difference in opinion, I think it's great. We need more of that for sure. Fillmore, PD isn't soft. He can't do everything himself. He needs a Geno object type in this modern era to protect him and the others. K-Dude, Canucks need some more weight. They don't have the size to go deep in the playoffs. Trade PD for some meaty. Okay, I hear what you're saying. I don't agree, K-Dude, because I think you don't want to give away your most skilled player. Do I think Myers gets dealt at the beginning of the season or at the deadline? Fangirl, I thought you asked me this before. And I said I think it happens earlier in the season because I think that's what this management wants to do. You might get more at the trade deadline. Part of me says you'll get more at the trade deadline because everything gets inflated at the trade deadline, and he can help a playoff contender, and then that team only has to pay for Myers for 2 months as opposed to the whole year. But if you trade him now, you're getting that team is getting him for the entire year. But okay, I just convinced myself you get more if you trade him at the deadline. But I don't know if the Canucks want to wait that long. Maybe Petey wants to see how talkative is and going to use him before he decides whether he stays or not. Line mate carousel or some solid line mates. Jed, that's fair, and I would say his solid line mates should be Kuzmenko and Mikheyev. 11 times 8, maybe Gary. I think if he's signing that long, he gets a bit more than 11, but we'll see. That's fair. Can you ask Alvin if flirting with Petey would convince Petey to stick around? I'm pretty sure Alvin has that Swedish charm. This is borderline not appropriate, but I'll ask him. Hey, Patrick, Peter wants to know if you flirting with Petey will help him stick around because apparently you have Swedish charm. Patrick said he would, that is beneath him, and he wants to make it a pure hockey decision and negotiation. Bring Jamie Benn home. Not sure. Well, I'm not sure if we've forgiven him for his Sedin comments, quite frankly. Irwin does agree with K-Dude, though, that Canucks need more beef in the lineup, but can be done without losing Petey. Loyalty means staying strong. Just saying a club won't win the cup isn't true. Ask Los Angeles or St. Louis about their cup droughts. Yeah, St. Louis ended theirs. I'm not the biggest fan of Pettersson myself, but I do believe he improved last season. He definitely has put on some size and performed better last season. That's fair, Derek. Petey's not everyone's cup of tea. He's not everyone's cup of PT. That was really bad. Management knew to draft EP 2.0 because that name is cool and deserves to be on a Canucks jersey for years. Doesn't work if there's another Pavel Bure. That's true. That's true. NHL trade deadlines are gambles for teams looking to add players for playoff runs. Yep. You just got to decide where you are in your franchise life cycle. For sure. For sure. His comments don't concern me much, but he wants to wait. That's good. That's fair, Tyler. Not a question about Petey, but which goalies do you see SRA? Shannon, type that again. I think that got cut off. But which goalies do you see SRA? I'm not sure what SRA means. Shannon, type it again, and I'll answer it for sure. Jamie Benn would fix K-Dude's media for Petey. That's true. He's not as good as Petey, but definitely a lot bigger. That cup references to K-Dude's video about the Canucks not winning the cup. Oh, you guys are next level. You guys are thinking 2 steps ahead of me. You guys are playing chess while I'm playing checkers. Yes, Bray Wyatt did pass away today, 36. Very sad. Why were fans wanting the Sedins trade at the beginning of their career? Were they that impatient? Yeah. Well, there was a lot of hype. Remember all the maneuvering that Brian Burke did to get them, and they started a tiny bit slow. But I don't think it was the majority of the fan base. I think it was just a vocal minority, quite frankly. If I was to phone Petey right now trying to convince him to sign long-term, what would you say to him? Would you use your emo charm to influence him? Yeah, I would simply say, aside from hot take, of course, that the Canucks have the best YouTube content creators around. No, I wouldn't say that. If I was truly trying to convince Petey to stay, I would sell him on Quinn Hughes, Demko, how we have superstars at positions, how this management seems to be really committed and disciplined, how the city is beautiful, and how basically he'd absolutely destroy the franchise if he left. Which goalies are playing for the Canucks this season? Well, it's going to be Demko for sure, and then it's going to be a battle between Seeloves and Martin for the backup position, Shannon. Barbashev was no doubt the best trade deadline ad this past year. Yeah, look at him. Yeah, he was great. And it's the style he played. He was awesome. Where did he end up going, by the way? Did he re-sign? I have no clue. If it's not Vancouver, I have no clue what's going on. Where did Barbashev go? Yeah, Shannon, it's weird. If I look over here on YouTube, the comment is gone, but I'm looking more at my StreamYard, which runs the stream, and it doesn't delete the comments that were deleted. Brock, Petey, and Quinn got me back into Canucks hockey, especially when I visited Vancouver before COVID. Ah, very good. Very good. Petey for Nemeth, Holtz, Bratt, Heischer, and 15 first-round picks. That might do it. Does EP wait for a seasonal milestone like holding a playoff position by January break before signing to see if there's a real progress toward future success? Erwin, I don't know. It's so tough to say. My gut feeling is he doesn't have like a hard and fast milestone like above 500 by this or 10 games over 500 or a playoff. So I think my guess is he just wants to see substantial improvement and commitment from this management group. If the Sedins were drafted to separate teams, would they have the career that they had? I'm going to, with 100% confidence, say no. I'm not sure if they're Hall of Famers, and because so much of their success was predicated on playing with their brother. Petey is also playing his poker play. Not dumb, just part of the process. Just imagine if this was Linden when he was dealt, social media would go off on management. Can't forget about the beautiful ladies, Clay, here in Vancouver. Yes, well, I only have eyes for one, my wife. Yes, barbershop stayed in Vegas. Thank you, hot take. We have offense, elite goaltending. If Petey doesn't want to be here, then buy, save that 12 mil and sign 2 solid D-men for 6 each. Let Quinn marinate, give Miller the seat in the meantime. DJ Bick, I hear what you're saying, but there's thoughts if Pettersson leaves, then won't Quinn be far? I don't think Quinn will be far behind him. That's what I was trying to say. But I don't want to worry about that yet. I don't know who Walter is from Breaking Bad. I don't know if you're talking to me, and I don't know if Walter is good looking if you are talking to me. Which goalie goes to Abbotsford this year? Shannon, it could be either. If they want to give Seelov's elevate him already, then you send Martin down. What I think will happen, I've heard people talk about, is you make Martin the backup. You send Seelov's down to Abbotsford, make him the starter there. And then when it's a long homestand where you can get Seelov's up from Abbotsford easily without losing days of practice or flying, then maybe you insert him for a few games during the season, but you get him like starting time in the AHL. So it's going to be very tough to say. The C for captain means convince. Oh, convince Petey to stay and be captain. Barberchef still in Vegas. Thank you. He'll do a Kachuk if the team doesn't improve this season, and that's what we don't want him to do. Petey is not a leader. He's a secondary player, and the Canucks wouldn't miss him. He no intangible, is just a good player. Degree. Respectfully disagree. I think the Canucks would miss him, and it's 102 points. And don't forget, he got Selke votes too, and a couple Hart votes as well. I think Seelov stays in Abbotsford and gives Martin another shot in the NHL. That's fair. AJS, nice to see you. I think PD waiting makes sense. He'll get paid more if the season is as good or as better as less production-wise. Yes, JS, I know you just joined. That's the last point I made when I was talking about why I was okay with PD's comments, is indeed he will make more than if he had signed this year if he has a very good season next season. I agree with you. And Ricky, again, saying it's okay, we have DPD. Could you see McDonough or Hirose surprise the team and earn a spot in the lineup? Hirose more than McDonough. I think we are too deep at wing. I'm not saying they're really good, but we have a lot of wingers, whereas Hirose has a legit shot at being the third pair left side D-man. What impact do you think Carson Soucy will have in the Canucks lineup? Tougher, bigger, better penalty killing. And I would love to Soucy to prove the doubters wrong that he can hold down top 4 minutes. Whoever's backup will have a small chance to prove himself before making a change. Yeah, there's not going to be a great point, High T. There's not going to be a room. By the way, welcome back, High T. I haven't seen you in a while. There's not going to be a big margin for error for sure. Seelov's being in Abbey being a good move. Focus on development and wait till management feels he's ready to mount the net as a backup. Yes, and we'll see if Ian Clark bounces back and forth between Vancouver and Abbotsford. By the way, everyone welcoming Jay. I think Jay was saying he just joined tonight's live stream. JS has definitely been around before, but everyone, it's nice that you're welcoming him. Josh says he's drunk. All right, well, that makes two of us. Will the Lotto line be back? I don't think so. I think they're pegging JT Miller to be the second line center, but you could try PD Miller and Besser, and then I guess your second line becomes Suter, Kuzmenko. Yeah, see, already I don't like that because Suter, I'm not sure if he can do second line minutes full time, and I like Kuzmenko with PD. Pettersson going to Anaheim for sure. You guys are making me sad. PD main reason Canucks can be competitive if they do things right. Once he's gone, another rebuild and denial for the team. That's fair. Shannon says hit the like button. Walter is an anti-hero. Okay, thanks for letting me know. And Shannon, by the way, I agree with you. What goalies could you see going to the Young Stars tournament for Vancouver? Could Martin be one of them? No, Martin is beyond Young Stars. I think we'll send that guy that we got this year. What's his name? I was just looking at it. So our Young Stars goalies will likely be Tolopilo, Sachenko, because those are, well, Sachenko's 25 though, where Silov's only 22. Martin's old. Martin, well, how old's Martin? You know, Martin's like 28, so he's definitely not going to Young Stars. So Sachenko, Tolopilo, and that other guy whose name I can't pronounce that we drafted a few years ago, that big guy too. Martin being a backup in the interim is okay. Could use a bounce back year. Yeah, tell me about it. Do you think Miller can be a capable second line center despite his lack of defense? I sure hope so, because that's what they're counting on. I'm going to do 2 more minutes of Canucks related questions, 2 more minutes, and then we are going to transition to 5 to 10 minutes of Ask Me Anything. So I'll do 2 more minutes of Canucks questions, but we can mix it in with Ask Me Anything already for the last 10 minutes of the stream. Yeah, exactly. Jay said he just joined the live stream. He's been part of this community for a long, long time. All right, friends. So we'll transition out of Canucks questions into Ask Me Anything for the last 5 to 10 minutes of this stream. So whatever you want to ask me, non-Canucks, non-hockey related. Don't forget, I don't have a show now until Sunday night because I don't stream on Fridays and Saturdays. And if you don't have questions for me, that's fine too. We can end quite early. I have no problem with that as well. Any questions for me? Your last chance. Well, Jaskrin hasn't asked for the jersey today. Is Jaskrin even here today? So I'll just do it proactively. No, Jaskrin, you cannot have my jersey. Oh, do you plan to play wiffle ball again after that incident and upon recovery? Lucas, I've actually never played wiffle ball. I've never played wiffle ball. I've never played pickleball. I've never played tickleball. No, that doesn't sound right. I actually got hurt playing softball. And I'm not sure if I'm going to play softball again. It might be a confidence thing, but we'll see. Derek, I've been a Canucks fan. I can't believe I said tickleball. I've been a Canucks fan all my life, all 49 years. Realistically, though, since I was 4 or 5 years old, would listen to every single game on the radio, CKNW, with my dad and my brother, listening to Jim Robson and Tom Larside on CKNW. So always been a Canucks fan, but been a season ticket holder since 2010, 2011. When I go to the P&E, what's my go-to activity? I'm not a big P&E fan, but definitely the Super Dogs. I love the Super Dogs. And then I watched the Super Dogs and I realized that Mickey would never they wouldn't even let him try out for that. Where would you rank Vancouver as a favorable destination for NHL players? Top third, middle third, bottom third. I think it used to be in the top third, especially West Coast Express days, maybe 2010, 11 days, even though a lot of those players were hated. I think right now it's probably in the middle third. I think for the past few seasons, it was in the bottom third for sure. The only good thing was the scenery and then decent players like Petey Hughes Demko. I think it's in the middle third right now because I do think, like, look at all the players that came here in the offseason. I do think it's becoming more desirable once again. Scenery, good players, and maybe just more of a disciplined plan from management. Yes, I would love a cinnamon roll. Send it on over, Gary. What are your thoughts on how many points we'll get this year? Do you think that PD will have a good year? Yeah, I think PD will have a great year. I think he'll get between 100 and 105 points again. I think the team will get 95 points to get into the playoffs. I'm okay with PD holding off, makes him push himself further, and if it doesn't, it's good for the team either way. We keep him or we get a lot for him. I did not watch any of the Republican debate. I'm not into politics. I'm not even into Canadian politics, so I'm definitely not into U.S. politics. So swag, I cannot offer a good opinion. I do not think Lyndon comes back. Do I ever experience burnout? How do you usually overcome when going through a lot? Seems like you do a lot. Yeah, Indigo, I've always said I will never claim to be too busy. I have a lot going on in my life, especially when I'm at my peak. I'll be studying for my master's, running religious ed in a bowling league, working, YouTubing, among other things. So and then, of course, most importantly, being a husband and a father. So I have a lot of serious responsibilities, but I don't take myself too seriously. I think a lot of people who complain, I've talked about this many times before, a lot of people who complain about being too busy, it's because they're poor time managers, not because they're too busy. Saying you're too busy becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Having said all that, I certainly have my ups and downs, my dips and my peaks and valleys when it comes to energy, when it comes to motivation. You know, I've had my ups and downs already with my torn Achilles. Had some really low moments, but overall, I have my overall, when I look at Maui, when I look at Kelowna, Shuswap, Yellowknife, I have it pretty good. I'm healthy for the most part. I have a loving family. I have a great community here, great church community. I have a job. I have friends. I have my creativity. I have my brain. So no, I don't experience burnout, but I do. As I get older, I do have to be more in tune with my energy levels for sure. Great question. Great question. Hey, Carol, I sent you a text message. I'm sorry I couldn't return your call. I had company over, as I mentioned. Yeah, same old. My leg doesn't hurt. There's no pain. It's just horribly inconvenient. If you were to move to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where Walter lives, what would you do there besides becoming the world's second biggest drug dealer? Well, obviously that's a given. I think what I would do is play a lot of golf. Let's go with that once I'm healed. Donuts or a cookie? Donuts. Is having an entire chocolate bar to yourself still a thing? Oh, I hope so, because I just did that last night. It was when I was a kid. Anyways, what I'm getting at is I ate an entire arrow today, as you should, Ricky. Good on you. Good on you. If an NBA team, would you look to become a season ticket member? Yeah, Lucas, probably not, both from a money and time and energy standpoint. I definitely buy like a quarter season pack, I think, or jam pack, as they called it when the Grizzlies were here. But I'm not sure if I'd become a full season ticket member. What do you remember about the 94 playoff run? I remember watching every game on TV. I remember Lyndon, McLean. I just remember a lot of gutsy performances for sure. And I did watch the final game against the Rangers, had a bunch of people over, and then we went outside and played street hockey as soon as we lost. Why did we not see any ping pong in the yard this summer? Shannon, great question. We did play, but I simply did not post about it as much. And unfortunately now I won't be able to play. So admittedly, we didn't do it. It was great for COVID, for the 2 COVID summers, but we did not do as much this summer. Great observation. Yeah, Gary, I would love to get, I think I'll get Kempner on for sure for one of my streams. He's great. Typhoon season in the Philippines, losing internet. No problem, Angelo. Take care of yourself. Be safe. Do kids go to school after Labor Day? Yes, that's when they go back here in Canada. Yeah, the States, they start early. If I got to play a romantic lead in a movie and the movie became a Barbie level hit, which actress would you want opposite you? Oh, that's dangerous. I'm not sure how much of an actress she is, but I like Beyonce for sure. I like J-Lo before. I don't truly have a favorite actress. So let's go Beyonce. I have not done scuba diving. Doing too much, it's a meme. Not sure what that means. If we don't make the playoffs, is PD gone? Yeah, I think there's a chance. Like he'll do one more year and then he'll want to go. Complaining about being too busy is so cringe. I agree with you, Swag. It's fine to complain to a friend or someone private, but it's annoying when people complain in public about being... Swag, I'm with you completely. Thank you, Average Jude, for noticing. Appreciate that. Hope you're well. Why do Canadians like American politics? I don't know. I live here and I'm a citizen, not into Canadian politics, but I like the yelling and smoking in Parliament. Yeah, see, I don't even know about that. I didn't mind Max Headroom. It wasn't my favorite, but it was fine. Odds Stanley Cup will return to Canada before 2030. I think there will be a winner before 2030, whether it's Toronto, Edmonton, or Vancouver. Have I seen the Stanley Cup in person? Well, I've seen replicas for sure at the Hockey Hall of Fame. How are you feeling with the injury? And has your mood been up and down more than it was before? What? Yeah, I've had my moments. I've had my pity parties for sure, but generally I'm in a good spot. Thank you, Shannon, for asking. Appreciate that. Any other jerseys do you have, Clay, besides Canuck Clay? I have a crazy collection at home, and I just obtained Toronto Raptors jersey. Nice. I have a Yao Ming jersey. I have a Seattle Seahawks Earl Thomas, the third jersey, and I have a Whitecaps kit. Those are my other non-Canucks jerseys. Yes, I saw that India put a rover on the moon, which is awesome. Yes, I do know any memes. I wasn't sure, Josh, if you're asking me, but you also admitted you're drunk, so I'm being very careful how I answer you tonight. I'm working at Beyonce's show next week at Levi's. Nice, as a stagehand. Sweet. Say hi to her for me. Scarlett Johansson, that's fair. and Jaskin, thanks for asking. The answer is no. I wasn't a huge Bray Wyatt fan, but I'm still very sad, of course. No other NHL jerseys. I have a Seattle Kraken shirt and a Winnipeg Jets shirt, though. Yes, the background is blue tonight. Change it up. I love udon more than ramen every single day, every single meal of the week. And friends, we are at the 53-minute mark. By the time I'm done, I'll be at about 55 minutes, and that is just about perfect. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Some really, really great questions today, and some really, some really good insight on the Elias Pettersson situation. And Lucas, Mickey is doing just fine. Thank you. I don't think he likes my cast nor my scooter, but he better get used to it. Friends, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Moderators, thank you for doing what you needed to do. I don't think it was too crazy. It hasn't been too crazy for the past few months, which has been awesome. Thank you to legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Carol Bovenlander, legendary Andrew Chang for their constant support. Also to Hall of Fame and franchise members as well. Always appreciate all of you. And the legends came through tonight. Lucas came through with 2 donations and Carol gifted 5 memberships. So thanks to both of you for your generosity as well. Shout out to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, Perform and Transform, Personal Training and Weight Loss. Shout out to the blue background. And thanks to all of you for being here. I always appreciate you. I never, ever take you for granted. So on your way out, you can subscribe. If you're not subscribed already, you can like the video. You can become a member, upgrade your membership, leave a late donation, or leave a late gift of a membership. Don't forget that if you're looking to buy Canucks tickets, and I'm selling a couple pairs every single day, many of you have reached out from this community. If you're looking for Canucks tickets, just email me, canuckclay@gmail.com. Again, canuckclay@gmail.com, and I'll send you my ticket list. And would love to be able to help you out that way. And then don't forget, my next show is Sunday night at 10:30, right here, same place, same channel, same everything. No, Swag, no need to start steering things up. We like calm, we like docility, we like activity in the chat, but none that we have to fret about. And with that, thanks guys for being here. I hope you guys have a great Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'll check in if there's any news from the Canucks variety. Otherwise, I will see you on Sunday night at 10:30. So as always, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. And I forgot to mention that earlier today, I had a police officer come to my door and he said that he was looking for a man with one eye. I told the officer to use both of his eyes and he'd probably find the other guy a lot quicker. God bless and go Canucks go. Booyah.